Well, this is the first one of these videos I've done, so it might be a shit show here, but oh well. Figured I'd give an update of what's going on here. Start with the Indy, I guess. So this one I had rebuilt, just finished rebuilding actually. Split it right down to the crank, motors rebuilt, did the Wozner pistons in the top end. Front shocks were pooched, so I changed those, got some Walker Evans and rebuilt them. Same with the rear skid. Had the Ride Effects oil shocks all the way around, which are pretty terrible, so put a Walker Evans in the rear of the rear skid, and in the front of the rear skid I got a Ride Effects gas shock that I rebuilt out of an XC. So that's in there, good to go. Took it out last night for the first drive actually, and seems to run okay. Having some issues with the speedo. I think it needs a speed sensor, because even when the sled's idling it's showing that it's moving. Apparently it has a speed on there. It keeps fluttering around, so I'll have to look at that. But so far so good. First ride, everything seems to work nice, runs good. We'll have to do some more running of it to get it all figured out, but so far so good. So that should be good for the winter, hopefully, after a lot of time and money put into it. What else? So we got the Trike here. This has been a complete disaster from the get-go, but we're almost there with that. So it's a WR 426 bike that has a YFZ 450 rear swing arm, rear suspension, rear subframe. Yeah, so it's actually basically done. The bike's pretty much all done. The only thing left is the front end. So now when you're building these conversions, there are people starting to come out with front end kits you can buy, but nothing really set yet for Yamaha, so you're kind of left to either build them on your own from a machine shop from scratch, or you can get Honda VTX 1800 clamps, which a lot of guys are doing, and you can modify them slightly and you can make them work. So that's where I'm at this point. It's basically been sitting like this, waiting for a front end for almost a year now. It's been to 3 machine shops now, and for whatever reason I can never seem to get triple clamps made no matter where I bring it. So I ended up buying those VTX 1800 clamps, which aren't ideal, but they work. And right now I got those at a machine shop to get a bit of work done to them so I can run those. When that's all done, that's pretty much it. She should be good to go, so whenever it's completed we'll get a bunch of videos on that for sure. What else we got going on here? KTM's always good to go. Never really drive it anymore. It kind of just sits here, which is super unfortunate because I really love the bike, but maybe one day I'll get out and fucking ride it. Hopefully. Should need nothing really for the next season coming up. Maybe a couple little things. I wouldn't mind a new shifter, and there's a couple loose bushings and stuff here and there, but for the most part that bike's been extremely solid for me over the years. I've had it 6-7 years now and never really let me down, to be honest. Had a bit of clutch issues over the year which got figured out, but other than that, always good to go with that bike. What else we got here? Got the old Cowie 650. This one's actually going to be selling in the spring, because I bought a newer Scrambler 1000, but this one needs the engine pulled out of it and looked over, because apparently the guy I bought it off of sunk it real fucking bad in the water, and you did a compression test and apparently one cylinder is 0, so I'm assuming it dropped the valve, or there's something going on with the fucking head with a stuck valve or something. So I haven't even tried to run it or turn it over or anything, because the more I touch it, the worse it's going to get. So that's got to get pulled in the shop to get pulled apart and potentially either rebuilt, or I'll just buy a used engine. I'd prefer to rebuild it, but we'll see what happens. It depends how bad it is, but that should be pretty sweet come the springtime. It's pretty much all stock, but it's an XP. It's nice. It's got the Fox shocks all the way around. It's got Rhino axles up front, 28-inch Mega Mayhems on it. Snorkel kit. I think it's got a clutch kit too, actually, the guy said, but we'll find out. That'll be a big job there for the spring anyways. Got the F5. That needs nothing, actually. That's pretty much good to go for the winter. Well, actually, you know what? No, the front shocks could be rebuilt, but it's the wife's sled. It never even gets driven anyway, so I'll probably just leave it. But we'll see. Got the 600 Skidoo here. This one's actually sold. I got to put a battery in it today. And other than that, it should be good to go. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for now. What else? What else we got here? Oh yeah. Apparently got a buddy on where I live locally putting on a vintage snowcross race. So the rules are you have to have a sled at least 20 years old and 500cc max for this race. So I'm on the lookout for something there. Probably just an old clapped out sled, something cheap to bomb around on, but we'll see what happens. Should find something for that and put a couple videos up on that too whenever I get it anyways. Yeah, so that's basically it for now. Figured I'd do a video because I don't know, I don't seem to do videos anymore, so I got to do something, I guess, right? But as soon as we get more figured out and get that vintage sled bought and that scrambler in here, we'll have more videos. Whenever we get that trike front end, though, I'll have videos on that for sure. I was super excited for the trike and kind of lost motivation after all the machine shop it's been to, and just problem after problem after problem to make these triple clamps. So kind of, you know, lost motivation on that, but we'll get her going eventually. And yeah, until then, see you later.